Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. Thanks for joining me here on a Wednesday night. I'm glad it didn't fall on Valentine's Day. We'd have to find another Webinar Wednesday date. Tonight, we're going to talk about lead generation with weBots for the dental and medical team. So for those of you who don't know me, I recognize some of you are new faces. I'm Dr. David Wank. I'm a practicing general dentist in New York City, and I'm the president of Short Hills Design, which is a internet marketing firm in New Jersey. Briefly, we're going to go over tonight, quick introduction. We're going to talk for a moment about the web design workbook for dentists, because it's going to give us an overview of where weBots fit in this process. I'm going to introduce you to lead generation, because we have to understand lead generation before we can actually get leads. So we're going to actually talk about some inbound marketing very briefly. Then we're going to talk about weBots versus online chat. That's something that comes up a lot when we talk about weBots with clients. How are bots different than chat? And there's actually a couple of big differences that make bots, in my opinion, better. Also, because it makes your front desk staff happier, and anything we can do to make a happy front desk is good news for me. So then we're just going to talk generally about bots and some examples. We're going to talk about how we do it, and then we'll wrap it up and have some questions. So introduction. As always, the technical level on this is there is no technical level. If there's nothing you have to do except listen and understand. Obviously, if you were to go ahead and use a bot with us or with anybody, that's something that we take care of on the other end. All right, taking notes. I will have the recording available in a few days. So if you'd like a copy of the slides, feel free to email me. I don't get them out by default, but I'm happy to make you a PDF and get those out to you. Just send me an email. Okay, questions. If you have questions, there's a raise your hand feature. So if you have questions, you can raise your hand to let me know. And I'm going to try and keep it at 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but probably closer to 45 minutes. So just let me know. If you have a question that's spot on relevant, I'm certainly going to answer it right then and there. But obviously, if it's something that I think that is not for the entire crew, then I will wait till after and I'll answer it then. Okay, so moving along. All right, so the take-home message. The take-home message is that we're going to use weBots to make it easier for people to ask pre-sales questions. That's it. I mean, that's really, thanks for coming. Have a good night. No, but in all seriousness, we want weBots because what can we do to lower the barrier of access to get people that are on your website to do something? And that's obviously contact you, get in touch, make that first contact. So weBots, we're going to use weBots to manage requests from new leads to take the burden off the front desk. And we're going to talk about in a minute why this is better, in my opinion, than having just chat. The Web Design Workbook for Dentists. Now, the Web Design Workbook for Dentists is a book I wrote a long time ago, and I'm actually rewriting it right now. I'm not selling books tonight. The book is actually free, so if you want to get one, you can. So the Web Design Workbook basically is a book that I wrote, and I'm currently updating it. And it's basically what you need to know before you buy. So it is not a how to build your own website, how to code, how to do anything like that. That's enjoyable, but for the same reason, I don't wax my own RPD frameworks. No, I don't want to, but I know how to, check that they fit. So the book is free at webdesignworkbook.com. And you can just jump on there. I've rewritten the first 7 or 8, maybe 6 or 7 chapters. I have 2 of them waiting. I'm just reviewing them and I'll publish them. I'm also testing a printed version that will not be expensive, just because some people have told me they like print better than digital. And of course, when I had it only in print, they told me the reverse. So what can you do? Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about over here, we're in inbound marketing. So phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 1 is building your site. Phase 2 is getting people there. Phase 3, once we're there, how do we get them? So phase 2, search engine optimization, driving traffic, whatever we can do, that's inbound marketing. So the purpose of inbound marketing is to get people to your website. And once they're on your website, that's where we look at lead generation. That's where we have them. How do we get them to ask a question? How do we get them to become how do we do something to get them to interact with us? And that really is, whatever we can do to do that's really what we want to do. We want to get these people working with us. And one of the things we also look at in these situations is, before you go saying, great, I want a web bot, you got to make sure you have traffic, because what we look at here for clients who'll come to me or for consults and say, hey, I want a new website or I want to do SEO. What you've got to do first is you've got to do a diagnostic. It's just like when we do teeth. I had a lady today who asked me about, chip number 9 and about whether we can rebond it and this and that. And I said, I got to do a workup. I got to see what's there. Is it endo treated too? She's an older lady. Number 9. Also, it's super erupted because she has a history of, few posterior stops. So said, I've got to make a plan. And so same thing here. Do we have a traffic problem or a messaging problem? So what I like to do, we do a study to say, listen, what is the problem with your marketing? Is it a traffic problem or is it a messaging problem? Because that's the diagnosis, because the treatment plan is different. I certainly don't want to do SEO for someone who's getting plenty of traffic, but isn't converting the website, and obviously vice versa. So let's talk about now inbound marketing and lead generation. So this is, okay, so on this slide, what you're going to see here is, this is kind of an overview of inbound marketing. The goal of inbound marketing is to drive people to your website. And so here's your website. We can use, this is all phase 2, organic SEO, content, ad, words. Nice, I got to fix that. AdWords, social media, whatever you do to drive people to your website, that's inbound marketing. And of course, from your website, we want new leads. And then from there, new patients. So that's the model. Now, over here, lead generation is where we convert those visitors into leads and new patients. So you saw here, I highlighted in gray, this inbound marketing, drive people to your website. And then here is new leads, which is now it's a separate section, right? Lead generation is we have them here for marketing. Now, how do we get them from our website as new leads to become new patients? Okay, so a couple of words about inbound marketing. So definitions. So a visitor is just someone who visits your website. A lead is someone who visits your website who has demonstrated an interest in what you have. So you could have 100 people come to your office and, let's say they all need endo and you don't do endo. Those really aren't great leads. So, they're leads, but those aren't qualified leads. A qualified lead is someone that has met certain conditions. So for example, if you're having an implant special, it doesn't really pay to have people who have their full dentitions. You want people who have implants. So certainly you can have a boat full of leads, but if they're not qualified leads, then they're not really great leads. So that's a visitor versus a lead versus a qualified lead. Okay, so what is inbound marketing still? So we are using digital content to bring new qualified leads to your website. Obviously, you want to get qualified leads there. You want to get any leads there. Certainly, we want more qualified leads than just leads, but we'll start with leads. And contrast that with outbound marketing. We don't really call it outbound marketing, but that's direct mail. That's putting posters around town. That's sending things out there. Whereas inbound marketing is saying, hey, these are things I have on my website that are going to drive people to my website to generate this traffic. Again, that's all within phase 2. So SEO, all that stuff is all inbound marketing driving traffic. And so again, what do? We want to drive visitors to your website with marketing channels. I've done webinars on this before. They're on the Short Hill site, and we'll do another one later this year. Again, here is a little bit more about inbound that we're not really going to touch on tonight. You segment your visitors into groups, figure out how we're going to know who they are, and then market specifically to these segments, which again, you don't want to send a whitening email out to your patients with dentures. They're not going to appreciate it. Okay, so the old paradigm. We would have all this traffic, we would drive it to your website, and hopefully we get new patients. So the newer paradigm, now we're not just thinking of, we have a website visitor and I'm so happy, have a great day. The new paradigm is that, hey, you know what? These people, these visitors, I want to make them into leads. So it's because, again, it's oversaturated. You can no longer say, I'm the only one with a website. When I was the only one with a website, then I was in charge. But I'm not the only one with a website. So new leads. And now the current paradigm is that we've got a website visitor, again, from our inbound marketing, and we want a new lead. We want to convert these new leads into new patients, really qualified leads into new patients. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with, we don't really call it disqualifying leads, but there's nothing wrong with disqualifying a lead if we don't want that lead to be there. So we can just say, we just don't use that lead, for example. There's someone who says, do you take, whatever it happens to be, some offices don't take Medi-Cal, they don't take Mass Health, or, whatever it is, that's, at least you're getting the traffic. And then again, we look for the high quality leads to make into new patients. So here is where it all comes together. You've got inbound marketing and lead generation. And as you might imagine, right here, this is the cusp. This is kind of where that lives. So right here is really where lead generation lives. Once they're on your website, we want to get them into new leads. This is lead generation. You'll probably call this lead conversion, but then it gets messy. So lead generation lives on the border, the cusp, pun intended, between inbound marketing and lead generation. So how do we go from your website visitor to a new lead? Because, as we've said for years and years, you might have 500 visitors. Let's say you want to evaluate your SEO campaign, paying a company for SEO or doing it yourself. And now the company says, hey, listen, doc, we've sent you 100 patients a month for the last, 6 months. So that's why you've spent good money. And the answer is, well, you really haven't spent good money, because what was the idea? If the idea is just to drive traffic, terrific. But if you're not getting good leads, what's the point? Same thing with AdWords. I'm spending X amount of dollars on AdWords, and I want good leads, especially with AdWords. SEO is much harder to focus, who you're going to get. Whereas AdWords and Facebook ads should be very, very, very targeted. But even with that, there are still people who will click. You'll say, we don't take insurance. And they'll click on your ad that says we don't take insurance. And then they will say, do you take insurance? Which is incredibly frustrating and a waste of money. There's not much you can do about that. But just sending you visitors from, if you were in Texas and they're sending you visitors from Oregon, then it's not really helpful for you. So yes, those are visitors, but those aren't qualified leads. So let's move that aside. So what do we do now? What are the current inbound marketing channels we usually see on a website? Contact forms, appointment forms, call now buttons. We have any call to action that you have on your homepage, and I hope you have one. You've got your navigation and your, we don't call it a slider anymore. Your hero area or your banner should say, welcome to our office, and there's a button, call now, learn more, schedule an appointment, something like that. And so you've got pop-up windows. We've done that with lead generation as well, where something pops up and says, would you like to learn more about dental implants, or get Dr. Wank's or Dr. Whoever's free guide about, top 5 myths about Invisalign. So anything that you're doing once they're on their site, a scheduling widget. Some people have scheduling widgets that bounce up and down that the patient can click, or anything like that, that you're capturing information, capturing leads. That's what you use a scheduling widget for. That's what you use anything for these inbound marketing channels. And lead magnets. A lead magnet is something that you give away in exchange for their email address. We don't say it like that, but that's when you do have, let's say, that ebook. Here's top 5 tips from Dr. Wank about, what you need to know before you have implants, or thinking of having a tooth extracted, read this ebook first. And they give you your email. They give you their email, and they automatically get that ebook. Okay, so what are weBots? So weBots, they're automated programs that run alongside your website. And so they are not part of your website per se. I mean, they are, but in a sense that, a weBot is extra code that we put on the side. So they're designed to meet business needs. And it's up to you and me and, and whoever you're working with to determine what that need is. So you've got weBots that give information that might say, hi, welcome to our website. What can I help you with today? I can answer questions about implants, veneers, and crowns, or insurance. Providing help to the visitor, not something we really need to do in dental, but that sort of, here's what I can help you with. Reset your password, how to, whatever it is, some common tech support things that people would have with an app, or how do I find how to do this and that? So scheduling appointments. Now, generally, because we have widgets like that we see on the screen that are very, very good for scheduling, we don't really need these type of bots to do appointment scheduling for us. Showing a survey, a bot can certainly say, hi, I'm a bot and I'm here to help you. What kind of survey, I'm curious to know what I can help you with best. Can you take a 2-minute survey? And the bot can actually give that survey, or the bot could send a link to, let's say you have a SurveyMonkey survey. And that's where over here, lead generation. The bot is there to capture the attention of your user. And you can do it so, and we're going to talk about pages. It can be on any page, but it could be on the Invisalign page. And then it can say, hi, do you have any questions about Invisalign? So that kind of thing. And it's an adjunct to other lead generation processes on your website. It is not a be-all and end-all. It is not the only thing that you can do, but it is, again, one of the things that fits into the mix. People have said to me for years and years, Dr. Wank, should I have Facebook? Should I have this? Should I have that? And the answer is, whatever works for your practice works for your practice. And what works for some clients doesn't work for others, and vice versa. So that's certainly something to consider. So weBots versus chat. Now, weBots have a script, and they can only do what they're programmed to do. I'm going to show you our weBot Enamel that's pretty limited in what it can do. It's a new thing, but it is just programmed to do a couple of things. Whereas chat support, chat is actually a physical person that doesn't use a script. And so both can run on any page on your website or all pages. If you look here, here's an example of a bot. And it's bot XO, it doesn't really matter. There's tons of software that make bots, just like there's tons of software that you can write a Word, no Word document. You could use as a word processor or a spreadsheet. These are bot programs, but you can see here, it introduces itself as a bot. And for this is helping someone schedule a demo. And that's it. They're going to type in their email, and then the people on the other end are going to get a notification that someone submitted their email, and that's it. There's no expectation that we're going to go back and forth. Here, live chat is someone who actually says, hi, how can I help you? Who is there sitting at the keyboard monitoring the chat as if an operator would with someone, called the office. So it's certainly monitor. So live chat is monitoring chat. And I'm not a big fan of live chat, which we're going to talk about in a moment, but that's the real difference. Live chat, the scope of a live chat can go anywhere, wherever your staff or the patient wants to take them. And look, if you've got someone who's willing to sit there and work with live chat, that's great. My experience, most staff members don't want to do that in addition to their regular responsibilities. And they also don't want to start a chat at 10 p.m. on a Friday. And there's an expectation that the customer is going to, or this visitor is going to say, oh, my tooth hurts. Then what do you do? I mean, you can turn it off at night. You can automatically set these chat support things to only be available during your office hours. So know that, but still, it's if you're going to give a chat option, you're kind of responsible to be there for the chat, or it's going to make people angry. So and both can run on any page or all pages, like we said. Now, you can start the bot in an open state, or you can trigger it by user interaction. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so here you can see on Short Hill's design, this is one of the bots we're working with. This is a different program that has a lot more involved than a simple web bot, but this is how it starts, minimize. So person can browse the site and do what they want to do. And if they click here, what winds up happening is this opens. Now notice I don't run a live chat here. I'm using Intercom. I don't use live chat here because most of you know I see patients during the day. But this is an easy way for someone to leave me a message. And of course, here is a advertisement, so to speak, to sign up for the webinar, a reminder for the webinar. But again, you can start it like this, or you can start it open. And it really depends on your demographic. Mostly for me, I like to start it closed because people who are looking for websites and dentists usually know how to manage, what that button does. And if they don't, that's okay. But again, it's, one of the concepts you look at in web design is that we don't design however you want, but make sure there's fallback functionality. So in this case, if you see this and you say, great, there's a bot, I'm gonna click new message and leave them a message and talk to them, that's terrific. However, if you have no idea what this button does, you can still use the contact button, you can still schedule a consultation, you can still call me. So the bot is not taking away any functionality. And anything you do, whenever we build a new site, we're adding something, we don't want to take away functionality. So if you are using a blazing fast new browser or a ridiculously new phone or something, we might have technology on the website that you can take advantage of. However, if you don't have that technology, you're not going to miss out on the experience. And that's an important concept in web design. We'll talk about that in another webinar. Okay, so what's the advantage? The advantage of WebBots over chat or any kind of these chat applications is that your WebBot does not have to be monitored. Once you set your WebBot, the bot goes. You can actually do timing also. I mean, you can certainly set this up so it doesn't, and like even here, you can say, back tomorrow or whatnot. We usually reply within an hour or within a day, and you're setting expectations. And so the web bots don't have to be monitored, which means your staff doesn't have to deal with it. And what it means is if someone interacts with your bot, the way we do it now is that you'll get an email notifying you that someone submitted a bot request, and you can do with it as you wish. Just as if someone submitted a contact request or an appointment request, you're getting an email. So it doesn't matter for you that they came in through a bot or through a contact form or through whatever. The disadvantage is that web bots are only as smart as what we've taught them to do. And there are people who will try and have a conversation with the bot. I've seen it with our clients where someone tries to have a conversation with the bot. And the bot says, I can't help you with that. You need to call the office. And they keep asking the bot again and again. and the bot says again and again, please call the office. Can't help you with that. Which is why it's important that we specify in advance what what the bot can do. So the reason, again, that we want to do this is because it's an adjunct way to get people to lower that barrier of discomfort or to increase their comfort and say, you know what, I can contact this office in a bit of a private way, and I can be comfortable, and I don't have to do a whole thing. And it's one of the reasons on all of our client, and this I blocked out so for client privacy, but on all of our websites, one of the things that we always do is I have a contact form on our sites for our clients and an appointment form. And the reason is because if you just have an appointment form, your visitors have two choices. I can call you, which I might not be comfortable doing, or I've got to request this whole appointment thing. And I might just want to say to you, hi, do you take this insurance? Or, do you see kids? And and someone who has to fill this out, the longer a form is, the less likely it is someone's going to fill it out. Just true, the more you ask for. But if you make them fill all of this out, it's a bit of a commitment, and they might feel that they're committing to have to actually have an appointment. Whereas here with the contact form, it just says, hey, listen, give us a holler. And, you can, don't use it for emergencies or to cancel appointments because you don't want an email at 5 a.m, my tooth hurts, or 5 minutes to 9, 9 o'clock says I can't make it. So that way that's clear. But again, it's, you don't want to put up a barrier, and a bot is another way to minimize barriers between you and your staff, between them and your office, not you and your staff. So let's talk about Enamel. So Enamel is the bot that I've developed, and it's a basic bot with your branding. I didn't code it. The code base is in there. It's kind of like it's a coping with, it's your scanner. You are, the lab is going to make that coping, but you're designing the tooth. And that's really what this is. So, I'm programming the bot, and whoever's doing this for you can program the bot to do what you want it to do. But this is an example. And so a basic bot with your branding, and what it will do is it lets the user leave a message, and it provides directions via Google Maps, obviously to your office. Now, the reason I like it to allowing users to leave a message is because one of the things that we don't know about our visitors is, what do you want to do? And I wish we could say to every visitor on our website, why are you here? What are you looking for? Did you find it? And if you didn't find it, what was it that you're looking for, so I can help you find it? Oh, we don't have that, or we do have that. And so one of the things that the bot does, it makes it very easy to let someone say, type in, here's my question. And you get so at your leisure, you get this email, and at your leisure now you can see, oh, this is what people are asking. And people might be much more comfortable asking a question to a bot than actually filling out a form. And again, the more interactions you have with the bot, you see from your users, you get to learn a little bit more about them. That's all why we have this behavioral analysis software, which is limited in dental and medical just because of HIPAA. But we have, we do analytics to track visitors and what kind of flow they take through the site. We look at contact requests. We look at all sorts of things to try and get an idea of what do the visitors want, and do they want what I'm selling, what I'm promoting, the services I have? Do they want veneers? Do they want implants, or not? And if I find out what they want, can I give them more of it? So that's one of the things I love about the bot. So here's it. If you want to go on your own and take a look and work through Enamel, you can. This is a development site that I use to show people what we can do sometimes. It's a very, very basic one that we really use. It's based on Genesis. We use it kind of as I'm getting a second office. I need something up quickly without investing a lot of money, but I also demonstrate some bots on it. So what it will do is it will say, we match your branding. It says hello and identifies itself as a chatbot. We're away. So immediately they know they're not going to be talking to a person. And here's what I can help you with. There's just two choices: leave a message or get directions. And obviously, if you click get directions, it's going to give you a link to a Google map, and you click it and you're good. You'll see that on the next page. This is what you would see. Iceberg Dentistry is the name of the company that the fictitious name that I use for when I do these bot tests. And then leave a message. What it's going to do is, because this is the workflow, when you leave a message, it's going to say first name, last name, what's your message, what's your email, we'll get back to you within the day. Thank you. Or, we'll get back to you soon. And if you need to get us urgently, please call the office. So again, it gives them another way to get in touch with you as a backup. So here's the workflow of the bot. And it's pretty much basically if else. starts here. They have two choices: leave a message, get directions. And obviously, if they choose leave a message, it goes to the leave a message workflow. I didn't show the details of the workflow. It's not that exciting. But it's, again, ask for the first name, the last name, and email. When they submit it, the bot says, thank you so much. And the practice gets the email that it was sent, and that's it. And if the user gives the bot an answer that the bot doesn't understand, the bot says, hi, I can only, I can't help you with that. I can help you leave a message, or I can help you get directions. Otherwise, please contact the office. So very polite. And then if they don't choose leave a message, if they choose get directions, it goes to something like this. And you click here for a map, and it goes to Google Maps, which is really convenient for if they're on the road and they want to get a quick map, and you don't have one, in the footer or whatever it happens to be. It no longer surprises me how people use websites. They use them in the strangest ways. So again, it wouldn't surprise me even if you have a map on your page, on your on the iPhone, or whatever, and that they actually take extra steps to get to a map. But some people want to have that let out for them. And again, I don't have an else here because we don't need it. So what else can we add new features? Very easily. Can offer information about a specific subject, a link to a page, or a link to a landing page. Again, it doesn't have to be, think out of the box. Coming back here for a second, this could certainly be, let's say we weren't going to do it like this. We were going to do Invisalign. You could certainly say, start, hi, I'm Enamel. We're away right now. Here's what I can help you with. Learn about Invisalign, download Invisalign ebook. And then over here, it would be the same thing. Learn about Invisalign. And it's going to say, okay, we have a whole section about Invisalign. Click here to go to the Invisalign page or any of the links below to our Invisalign section, or, click here to download, our Invisalign ebook or whatever it happens to be. And that would send them to a landing page. So if you've got a landing page that you're using for AdWords or for Facebook ads or anything else, and you want to cross-promote it on your website, you certainly can. Again, it's anything that you want to do with it. More advanced, it can also link to marketing automation software. So what that really does is, so for example, let's say that you're collecting email addresses from your clients. And a lot of our clients are. It's terrific. And so we kind of know what these people are interested in, and we can market to them based on what they do. And we have to be careful because of HIPAA. But if someone submits a request for an ebook about dental implants, anytime we have some stuff about dental implants going, we might want to email those people and say, hey, these 10 people over the last, couple of months who've showed interest in that, we're having a special, or we thought we'd like you to know that Dr. Wank just, we now place implants in the office and yada, 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 or whatever it happens to be. And this is part of, we talked about inbound marketing. If all of a sudden you've got a bunch of people who are interested in implants, who've downloaded this ebook, then you've got a segment now of people who are interested in implants. So we've gone from just, 100 random visitors to 5 people who we know are interested in implants. Maybe 1 or 2 will convert, or whatever it happens to be. But that's the idea. And marketing automation software helps you put all those things in action, that when someone, visits a page a certain amount of times, something happens that sends them a message or whatever it happens to be. So that's something pretty cool that you can do as you get more advanced. So some preliminary data for one of our medical clients. It's a busy site. They had, in this, I think this was over 2 months, they had 14,000 page loads. And that's because they have the bot on every page. 90 people clicked it, and 15 people left a message. So they've got a 66% conversion rate if you look at it via how many bot clicks to page loads. More importantly for me is that 16% of the people who opened the bot left the bot a message. And, I didn't track how many people asked for directions. I probably should have, but this was more important to me, but how many people left a message. So you know what? It's possible that a bunch of people did click directions. Less relevant to me. More relevant is that, 16% out of the 90 interacted with the bot and left a message for the practice. And so, if 1 or 2 of those patients becomes a patient, it's fantastic. And the ROI is through the roof because it is at that level. So to give you an idea of the fees that we charge, now I do a free 30-day trial for the basic Enamel bot. This is the basic bot I showed you with the directions and the question, because it doesn't work for every practice. That's just the truth. It's a certain demographic, and I don't know, and I can't tell you that your demographic is A, B, and C, and it will work or it won't. You got to try it. And if you try it and it works and you like it, it's $150 a month for 6 months. and your break-even point is basically one new patient. So that's really the idea. It's what can we do for a minimal amount of investment to get you maximum bang for the buck. There are other services that are, $300, $400, $500 a month that do a lot more complicated things. But for most practices, that's overkill. What I really just want to do is get somebody, to tell us what they want so we can help them and make them into new patients. It's really, really the goal here. Keep it as simple as possible for them. So we finished a little earlier than I thought. Thank you very much for your time. So we'll take questions now. Also, April, we're not doing one. We're doing them every other month right now. So April, we're going to do part 1 of web development, and we are offering CE. I've partnered with the Steto Dental Labs in New Jersey, and we're going to be offering CE. So part 1 is going to be $15 for 1 CE, and June is going to be part 2. Planned right now is probably what we're going to do. $15 for 1 CE. But the only catch was not a catch, but you've got to be there for the live presentation. The credentialing doesn't let us give you CE if you've registered and you watch the delayed recording. You actually got to watch the entire thing or participate. We're not going to tape your eyes open. But you actually have to be on the live event in order to get CE credit. So let me see if there are any questions. Yes, there's a question about how it's installed. Okay, so installation is something that, again, your web developer would handle with any of these products, whether you're working with us or any other company. They basically give you a snippet of code and you copy and paste it onto your website, and then the bot runs like any other, with it like a chat widget. If you've ever done any kind of scheduling widgets or anything like that, that's exactly the same way we add the code, and it's pretty straightforward. And the other question is they asked about the logo on the bot. Yes, I mean, we use Enamel because I like that. We designed this. You can certainly use, Enamel bot for your office. We do. There is a front page on this that's branded, and you certainly could use your logo here. I like using Enamel because it's friendly, but again, certainly we can do anything here in terms of the colors that you want and in terms of the logo that you want to use. All right, so that handles all the questions. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. I appreciate it. I'm glad we finished early. Next time, though, when we do the CE, we're not going to finish early. We've got to go the full time. You have to be fair for our licensing and credentialing. So anyway, any questions, give me a call. Or email me. Here is, as always, my information. And tried to give my information, it ran away. Here is my information, and thank you again, and we got to fix that too, and have a wonderful evening, and happy Valentine's Day.